everyone, to another episode of Web Dev Speak. In today's episode, we're going to cover the basics of what you need to know to improve the on-page SEO of your website. Now, improving your SEO starts with what's on your website. After all, without a good foundation, you can drive a bunch of traffic to your site, but you won't get the same results from those external strategies. So the first thing that you can do is you can improve your images on your website. Now, I covered this at length in my image optimization video that you can find on my YouTube channel, but you need to focus on two main things with your images. First, ensure all of your images have descriptive names. No image 1082.jpg. Use keywords when possible in those images and separate words with dashes, i.e. red-hyundai-elantra.jpg. Now, all of your images on your website should have a descriptive alt tag. This tag tells Google and screen readers what is in the image. Use keywords when it makes sense, but always make that description accurate to what is in the image. Now, let's take a look at that. Now, if you're uploading images into a WordPress site, each image you have the ability to add the alt text pretty much as soon as you upload that image. If you need to add a bunch of alt text to past images, you can come in here to your media library and click on each of these to edit and add the alternative text. Now, the downside is WordPress does not let you change the name of the image after you uploaded it. You can see here's my image name. You'll have to go through and take the time to replace those and re-upload them with better file names if those image files aren't ideal. Now, if you've got a ton of images in your website, it is going to take some time to fix those alt tags and file names. While it is a time-consuming task, I'm not going to lie, it is an important step to improving your on-page SEO, and it is so incredibly worth it. Start with your main pages and then work through your blog posts by going through the most popular blogs down on. Now, make this an internal process for images on your website every time you upload new images and blogs as well. Another step that helps when you do this from the beginning is ensuring that your URLs are SEO friendly. By that, I mean they should be descriptive with dashes. For instance, our dash service or custom dash websites. That URL is one of the first things that tells Google what that page is about, but it also tells your user what they can expect to find on that page too. Now, original versions of WordPress had a bit of a stupid feature that automatically set page URLs to be like page != 123. It's not really still the case, but there are a couple of things that you can do to set up your URLs for success. So let's take a look at that really quickly. Okay, first things first, whether you have a brand new website or you've been running yours for a while, take a minute to come in here to settings, permalinks, and check what WordPress is automatically creating for your blog and page links. Now, I personally recommend that you set your URL structure to be post name, unless you have a very specific reason not to. Some people recommend using a category setting, especially for blog posts, but I prefer to keep my URL shorter. If your website is not set up for post names now and you need to change any URLs, you first want to put together a spreadsheet of what those URLs are now and what you're changing those URLs to, deciding on those new names in that spreadsheet. And then you want to use that spreadsheet to create 301 redirects. This tells your website when somebody tries to go to that old URL, it moves it to the new URL. This helps you from losing any SEO value, and it also keeps you from having broken links on your website. Now, there are WordPress plugins that you can install for 301 redirects and make that a little easier for you, and then take that spreadsheet and put those old values into the new values. Now, we talk about this more in detail from my links video, but going through your copy and make sure that you have internal links in the copy to take your browser and Google to other pages in your website. Now, your goal here is to keep people digging. The more they read and explore, the better you answer their questions. And with Google Analytics installed on your website, Google notices that. Now, when you're adding those links, make the actual bit that's linked a piece of text that's descriptive of where they're going to go. Google takes the actual linked text and decides that's what that page is about, that topic. So in this case, I have mine linked to my WordPress websites page, so I have web development as my highlighted text. Now, yes, internal links can be buttons, other calls to action, but I highly recommend adding at least one internal link in the copy in every single blog post. Now, this is another slightly time-consuming task, and I'm really sorry, but it is so very important. All of your main website pages should have a meta title and description. That's the main topic as the title, and the description should theoretically include some kind of call to action in that. Now, these are what searchers see in Google search results, and they'll impact whether or not someone actually clicks on your result. You can be number one, but if your meta title and description doesn't match what they're looking for, they're going to bypass you. So you want to take that into consideration. That means it's definitely a good place as well to include a keyword or a key phrase, because Google looks at that as well and sees that as a main thing your web page is about. Now, if you have a WordPress site, the best way to control your SEO and meta titles and descriptions is through a third-party plugin. Now, I prefer Yoast SEO. I'm going to come in here and install it and get that activated on my site. Now, I prefer Yoast because it has a lot of awesome, powerful features. So in the main settings over here, I can go to Search Appearance, General, and I can set my title separator. Ideally, you want your website or business name to be on each page in the meta title. This divider helps orient people with where they are on what page, and it divides it from your main topic of focus. So I'm going to save that here. And yes, you guys are going to see this on my site. This is a learning site only. I don't want Google to index it. That's why you see that here. Now, as you can see on my page, WordPress automatically takes the title of the page and combines that with the title of your business to create your meta title. Well, that can work in some cases. You may want to say add your location if you're a local business, or get some keywords in here. And so all you need to do is to click here. Now, the last thing you want is for your home page of your website to be home, your business name. I see that a lot. It's a default WordPress thing. So make sure you click in here, and you can come in here and you can actually change this. And it will show you, as you do, that the meta title is within the guidelines that Google has public. Now, below that, you want to add a description for this page. And with that description, you only have about 160 characters. And there is so much to dig into with meta descriptions, but we want to make that a very clear description of what the page is actually about. If this was going to be an actual learning website, this is what I want people to do. And then I want to include some kind of call to action. So I'm going to bring them into the website. And you can see I've got a green light here. Now, in the case of the meta description, those can be shorter than what the green light is. But we want to make sure that we're getting within that range. And we definitely don't want it to be longer than what Yoast is asking for. In this box, you can set all of the details for your page, including the images that are shown when you share your page on social media. Focus on getting the meta titles and descriptions first, though, in each of your main pages and your top performing blog posts. And then make it a habit that every time you write a blog that you come to the Yoast box and double check the title and write a brief overview of the article with an ask to read more. Your meta description should always have that at least a subtle call to action, because remember, they're seeing that description in actual Google search listings. So you want to give your ideal searchers a reason to click on that description and come visit your website. Okay, that is a lot of detailed information and a great starting point for anyone looking to improve their on-page SEO. Now, make sure you come back next week for SEO 1 or 2, where we're going to cover more ways to improve your on-page SEO.